What's happening, people in YouTubeville? It's Pete with BackDraft Bikes, and I've got a really awesome video to show you today about mounting your camera on your helmet. Stick around. Duke is very interested. He wants to know how to mount. Do you want to know how to mount a camera on a helmet? Well, I'm unsuccessful at getting my dog off the couch, so. There has been a lot of talk in the motorcycle communities on the best way to mount your camera on your helmet. I switched over to the DJI Action 4 cameras this past year because of the continual issues I've had with GoPro locking up and freezing and just overheating. And I've just kind of come to an impasse after I lost some really good footage and didn't really have a good solution. So I'm trying these cameras this year. I will give you a long-term ride review on these after I've used them for some video production, but so far I've shot a few videos and I've been very, very impressed. Now, you can go on our channel and you can find the DJI Action 4 review video, and we compare them to the GoPros. Take a look at that if you haven't seen it. But specifically today, talking about motorcycle helmet mounting options, and this does not matter if you have a DJI Action or a GoPro or even an Insta360 for that matter. All of these cameras use a very similar mounting device, and that is actually fashioned from GoPro, and that is the clip. So this clip will go into pretty much every action camera out there, and they use these 3-tong or 2-tong systems to lock things in. And this will literally go on, and you can then clip these cameras to everything. Now, this is the setup I have running right now. And basically, I have one of the shoes on the side mounted here. And this clips in and goes on and allows the camera to be front and center. When you're mounting your camera on your helmet, you want to make sure that you're trying to get it as close to the point of view focal as possible. So you really want your camera here. You can mount it sideways, but then you're going to be looking down the side of a helmet every single time you're riding. You can mount it on the very top, but then you're going to have kind of a distorted view from the top. And if you have a visored helmet, you're going to actually be looking at something like this in a lot of your video shots, which you'll have to crop out. The big disadvantage to side and top mounting with these cameras, though, is not only do you get a lot of wind turbulence because it's something that's sticking out and this is attached to your helmet. So after a really long ride, you wouldn't believe actually the difference that having something that's producing quite a bit of drag on one side of your head will feel like. But the other thing that I found is not only is it producing that drag, but it's more susceptible to damage. So if you're like cranking through and there's brush and you're moving out of the way, your body has like a built-in radar system, you know, when you're going through the brush, that you will actually duck out of the way pretty instinctively. When you have apparatuses sticking off your helmet a couple inches, you kind of don't automatically remember that, and they're prone to getting hit and whacked. Now, if you have these tight and they're mounted on there really good, it's probably not an issue, but it's something to think about. Finally, the last thing that I just want to mention about the disadvantages to mounting it on the side and the top of your helmet is the fact that these cameras are often looking at a horizon type picture to provide image stabilization. So if you mount this to the side of your helmet and you get into some really bumpy stuff, or the top of your helmet and it's catching the edge of it, the camera has sometimes has a hard time differentiating between what the horizon is and what is stationary and what is moving. Notice this a few times when I've taken pictures and I've had the camera mounted and it's catching part of the helmet. It will keep the helmet stationary while the landscape moves around it, which does provide an interesting filming perspective. But for a moto vlog, it's not ideal. It's not ideal at all. It actually can make you kind of feel a little motion sick if you're really whipping around a lot. So I just from trial and error and a lot of experience with this, mounting this as close to the chin, the tip of your chin as possible, like this, almost at a neutral line with the top of your lip, is really the ideal setting. Now, some people when they do these will mount the camera forward, but they'll actually flip it and it will be hanging way down. That isn't terrible. But again, you've got that leverage effect and you've got 4 inches of camera hanging off. Really, if it's right here, it's actually not going to be in the way. You're not even going to see it. It's going to be most aerodynamic, be able to move with you. And the only thing this camera is going to catch that's going to be stationary typically when aiming it is going to be your handlebars. So once I get a camera established and I get it set up, I figure it out, I usually will take a magic marker and mark on the mount where I want it to be positioned vertically. And this allows me to be able to clip the camera on quickly and go and know that the shot's going to be set up without having to frame it every single time. Let me show you my standby GoPro mount that I used for years. And I have bought so many of these, replaced them so many times, and almost lost cameras because of them breaking. This is a standard little elbow, maybe 45 degree, and then there's a 90-degree adapter that's built into it. This is the perfect setup for mounting your camera because you can put your camera in here and you put your thumb screw in, and then this is going to warranty. Then you can mount this on your helmet using the GoPro shoe mount, and it fits perfectly. It's the perfect height, size, and location to get it exactly where you want it to be. Here's the issue with this. It's lightweight, which is good, but it's plastic. And this is out in the open without any shade in all of the elements anytime you're riding. Besides for that, anything on a motorcycle is continually vibrating. And because of the vibrations and the movements, this plastic doesn't last very long. Usually you get a couple months maybe out of a setup like this. And sure, it's only, you know, 20 bucks by the time you buy the arm and the little adapter. But if this breaks while you're filming and you only have one and you're out on a trip, you're in big trouble. The other thing that you could get into trouble with, as I mentioned before, is this could break while you're riding and there goes your GoPro. That's also not a good situation. I've been kind of leery about these, and anytime I have used them, I've religiously looked and inspected for cracks before I start the day, and I always had a backup set with me. Last year, when I went on a really big camping trip, I decided that I wanted to try something a little bit different, a little bit more rugged, and that's when I switched over to the RAM mounting system. And this thing looks ridiculous because it is. Basically, what we have is an arm in which RAM Mounts makes a lot of accessories, and we use them in the fire service a lot, so I was familiar with the mounting options that they have. But I was using like a 1.5 to 2 inch extension, and then the GoPro shoe attached to a RAM ball. Now, I did this out of desperation because I was getting ready to leave for a trip, did my pre-trip inspection, and noticed my last plastic holder was cracked out of 2 of the 3 legs. So it was a no bueno, and I could not use that for the trip. So I went through my field bag and I noticed that I had some more of these rubber balls. I use these a lot on the motorcycle to mount the cameras to the chassis of the bike because they're very adjustable and they're rugged. And I found that if I just took this one with a small extension, I put another shoe on it, like so, that I could actually use this, and it was quite adjustable to get the right angle on the helmet. And again, sitting on the helmet, this would look somewhat like this. And it was perfect. But here's the problem. This weighs a lot. It's huge, it's bulky, it whistles in the wind, it looks really dumb. Really happy to talk about a new product. Not getting paid to do this. This is just a guy that's out there buying his stuff and trying it on his own. I was on Amazon, of all places, and I found this company called SHU, Happy Share Up. And what they do that caught my eye is they make aluminum parts. So again, I went on Amazon thinking there's got to be another alternative, and I found the company HSU. And I actually bought a couple different options from them because I didn't know which one would work, and they weren't really that expensive. The first set I bought is right here, and this is a swivel adapter set. And everything is 100% aircraft grade forged aluminum, very lightweight. Comes with all of the necessary tools, a few extra gaskets. This kit itself has a bunch of stuff with it, including one of these tripod mounts, which is really cool. I can actually use it on the camera I'm filming this with on a mini tripod. If I'm out, it will clip on the same GoPro mount that I may have located on my bike. So I really do like that it comes with it. It comes with a reverse adapter for the tripod mount. So you've got a stem. And again, I can use this to mount up to a camera as well. The other thing that I really like about this kit that I bought, and again, I'll put the links for all these things in the descriptions, is the knobby wheels they come with. These are also aluminum and they're very low profile. So this is small. This is perfect for when you have it up on your helmet because you don't want a bunch of stuff sticking off. I like this one, but at the same time, I ordered a few other pieces and I actually am not sure if I'm going to use this kit that I just showed you right off the bat for my helmet. This is the other kit that gives you the curved pieces. What I did order was one of these adapters, and HSU makes these adapters as well. They're completely aluminum. And what these adapters allow you to do is to clip into your action camera, get your 90-degree offset, which you need, because remember, most of these adapters here, let me just show you one. Almost all the GoPro adapters are going to be straight to straight. So your 2-prong is going to come off your camera to a 3-prong, and then this is going to connect to your next thing, whether it's the shoe itself or whatever. Batman! This unit right here already has the 90-degree built into it. So I can go 3-prong to 2-prong, so I can go right into the camera, just like that, which I'm really keen on. And it's a very low profile mount that sticks off to the side, and I've got my 2 spots right there. So just doing this allows me to get really close to what I need for this camera mount to work. I do need one little intermediate piece because this is straight off and the helmet is obviously curved. I know what you're thinking right now too. You're thinking, why don't you put a chin mount on the very chin piece? And I've shown you videos of using those. They make them, and I'll put a link down in the description if you want. The issue with using one of those on these type of helmets though is twofold. First off, it puts the mount right here, and some of these helmets don't have a lot of room on the very chin. This one, it was okay, but it wasn't super secure because there's just not a lot of area. The second thing that I don't like about it is if I put the chin straps that stick off the front here, this will not fit in the rear case. So if I go in anywhere, I've got to take my helmet with me. I can't lock it up, and I don't like that. On the side of this, I can unclip this and the helmet retains its same profile, especially if I'm not filming. So that's one of the reasons why I do like the side mount better. Here's the other thing this one will do, because on the DJI Action, I know I've talked about this in my other videos already, Action has a really remarkable magnetic mount. So the magnetic mount fits on the camera, it cinches right on, it's super easy, and it just clips in. The cool thing about the cage that comes with the Action is that there's a mount on the side as well. So I can have this camera mounted like this, or I can also shoot portrait like this. I don't usually shoot portrait, I usually just shoot landscape and then I crop it down if I have to for the gram. Now, those are my options right now as far as the camera goes. I think this adapter piece is gonna come in really handy. The other kit that I bought from them has these little ladder pieces, and you can see I've got a lot of different options to try from. I really like this ladder bar, and if I was using an Insta360, this is fantastic because I could mount this somewhere on the front or rear of my bike and actually just shoot right from that. And this is rugged. This isn't gonna go anywhere. I mean, this thing is solid. Let's just lay this out on the helmet and see what it looks like. Once you get your camera figured out where it's gonna go, using the screws is a little bit better than using the knurled big pieces that stick off because you got less things sticking out. Here is the old setup, and we're at 3.7 ounces. Here is the new setup. If I use the right angle adapter, I'm even at 2.0 ounces. So there is a little bit of a weight savings. If I take this adapter off, just the arm itself is only an ounce. So there's really nothing to it. Really super lightweight. Besides for the weight difference, look at the size difference. So I'll put the shoe on first. I always use the ones with the rubber tabs too because it locks it down so that it doesn't move. It's still going to be too far off to the side, so what I need to do is get the smallest one of these. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. just because of the where this is mounted on this helmet, and it will be different on any other helmet because they're all different sizes, is I'm using the small, second to smallest piece, and then the smallest piece that I have here. I'm gonna put these together. I'm actually gonna end up putting some Loctite on these bolts because I don't want them to move, but I'm just gonna mock them up right now to make sure this will fit. There it is. So you can kind of see what we did. We got the camera mounted just about midline. It's maybe a ½ inch off to the left, but that's okay. You're not going to be able to tell. And this feature set here, this allows me to grip the entire setup, and look at how small and low profile that is. It's perfect. It fits the helmet exactly the way I'm looking for. And then this will, because this, I'm going to leave the knob on this side, this will allow me to tilt this down and tilt it up as needed. Usually when I position these cameras, the camera's got to be actually pointing up a little bit. It looks a little unnatural, but when you think about it, when your helmet's on and you're leaned over the bars, this needs to be tilted up a little to be looking straight forward. In order to accomplish that, you often have to push this off the camera body slightly. So I'm going to estimate that that's what it needs to look like on the helmet itself. And I'll test this out before I start filming. But I am pretty happy with the way this looks. All aluminum, and the hardware is stainless. Actually, the knurled section here, I can just tighten that up as well. Look at that. It comes with a little doohickey for tightening if you really want to go hog wild. I'm not sure if I need to do that. Oh yeah, that does make it easier. There we go. Let's take a look. Perfect. I like it. It's probably going to be tipped up a little bit more so that it's facing forward. Perfect height level, but I will be able to check that when I get out to the bike and fool around with it. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Again, check out my other videos on the channel as far as camera setup and using the new DJI Action 4s. I've got a few more tricks in those. But hopefully this helps you out. I really want to give a special thank you to HSU. Yeah, HSU, they were very good people. They sent us all of these trinkets to be able to try to outfit the bike with. So I appreciate you tuning up. Until next time, ride safe. Ride safe, Dookie, ride safe. Yes, you need to ride safe.